Good evening, guys, and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. I need to take a shower and get to bed. It is actually pretty late right now. I stayed up a little late to watch some shows, and then I ended up kind of dozing off after that. So now I really need to take a shower and get to bed. Actually, I think I've shared this with you guys before. But I just started watching, well, rewatching, because I had watched it once before, but I was rewatching Mad Men. My mom was watching it the other day. We have whatever, like, the subscription I think that it's on right now. My mom was watching it the other day, and she's, I think, on the last season right now, and I just started it. But I was like, oh, I want to watch that because I've been thinking about it a bunch lately, and I was like, you know, again, I want to like finish it because I think I honestly only maybe got through like maybe 3 or 4 seasons. I think there's only 7, so it's not that much, but I didn't like watch all of it all the way through, and that is one of my biggest problems with TV series and not with movies, because movies are normally a sit through one and you're pretty much done kind of thing, but I'm really bad about that with TV series and a lot of times video games. If I'm playing a video game, I never seem to finish like the main story or whatever. And granted, some of those that you can log a lot of hours into them and never finish the main story. But my problem is with honestly a lot of them is that I always start them over from the beginning. And this is the same with TV series too. So video games or TV series, I always have to start them over from the beginning, because if too much time goes by, I can't just pick up where I left off. Like, I don't remember what was happening in, again, the video game or in the TV series or whatever. I feel like it's worse for video games because you get to a certain point, like you've played for a while, you get to a certain point and you're like, you forget all the controls all over again. At least that's me personally. Like, I can't just jump in where I was at, especially at a high level, like, and you know, if I'd been playing for a while and then jump back in because I'm like, oh, I can't get the controls, you know, like right again, like that kind of stuff. And so I feel like that's really hard for me. But also too, like in a TV series, honestly, I like wasn't watching Mad Men for like a few days. Like, I didn't catch, you know, like there was a few days, probably I think like over Easter maybe or something like that, or maybe the day before Easter or something, because I think Easter night I watched an episode or two, but I think it was like Friday and Saturday, I don't know, maybe if I didn't watch any or something like that. And I was like, I don't remember what happened in the last episode on Thursday. I was like, should I go back and like watch the last episode? And I was like, why do I need to, like, you know, like, it's not, even too with Mad Men, I'll be honest, it's not that important to, like, you know, like, the episodes don't build completely on each other. Like, you can watch like one episode and then kind of, again too, it doesn't necessarily, like, you don't need to have seen the last episode to see the next episode completely. I mean, you do, but like, you also kind of don't at the same time. The episodes don't completely build on each other, because I noticed too, like, especially with the first few seasons, like the first season takes place at least over like a year or so, and then the second season picks up like about a year later, and like each episode too, it seemed like they kind of like will make like a point, like I know in the second season they're like, oh, it's Easter, and then it's like Memorial Day, and so like you can, and I think the first episode maybe starts like Valentine's Day, so like you see, like, even too, like, it doesn't necessarily like take place like right at the same time. This happened in the last episode, and this is what happened literally yesterday for the characters or something like that. It's like, no, it's pretty like long period of time. So it's not one of those where, like, again too, you have to see like the episodes and like remember exactly what happened in the last one to know what was going on in the next one. But again too, you don't want to just start picking it up in the middle of the 4th season or something like that. So even though I watched through, like I was saying, like 2 or 3 seasons years ago, this was maybe back when I was first out of high school, like probably close to 10 years ago or something like that. And my mom was watching it back then, and like I said, I think she's probably finished watching it like twice, and I haven't finished it once, but I was gonna go back through and rewatch it again, and so I did. But I was like, I have to finish watching Modern Family. I had started watching that, and granted, I got through all 10 seasons in less than a year, which I think is pretty good. I started watching them probably last summer, so it like I got through it pretty quickly. But they're also like half-hour episodes, and again, it wasn't like it you know, kind of went past pretty quickly. I think, like I said, there's like 10 episodes or 10 seasons or whatever. But surprisingly, again, too, I got through that pretty quick. But it's kind of like The Office. It's like one of those things where like you can just kind of, you know, turn it on in the background kind of thing, or not pay super that much attention to it or whatever, and still like understand what's going on and everything like that. Mad Men, I have to be like completely dialed in. I feel like anything that's kind of like a period piece, like and like a drama, I have to pay attention to. I can't just kind of like have something on in the background and listen to it or whatever. But like, because like that was the same thing too. I was watching Downton Abbey, and I didn't, like that I had to pay attention to. But the thing is that, like I was saying, I told myself, I was like, I can't start this, because I saw my mom watching it, and I was like, oh, I really want to watch that. And then I'm all, yeah, let's go watch that. And I'm like, wait, I literally had like, I don't know, maybe like 6 episodes left of Modern Family, and I was like, I was about ready to go jump into a new TV series and not finish that one. And I always do this though, so like that's why I was saying with video games, with TV series and stuff like that, I always start over from the beginning, because I never finish like the last season. Or, you know, again, to Mad Men, I didn't get that far into before I stopped watching it, but I always had the intention of going back and watching it. But it's also tough too, because sometimes it leaves a certain streaming service and then you got to go pick it back up somewhere else or whatever. And so sometimes it's just kind of, like, I think honestly that's what happened. Like, it was on Netflix, and then when I went back to go and watch it, like, it wasn't on Netflix anymore. Anyway, so like I was saying, I just, like, for me, I never though seem to finish. Like, when I know I'm getting towards the end of a series, I'm like, oh, I gotta start thinking about what I'm gonna watch, you know, next. And I never finish the series then. So I'm always like preparing for it to be over without actually finishing it. And maybe too, it's part me not wanting it to be over, so I'm like, I can savor the fact that I know there's a few episodes left that I've never seen, especially when it's like a series that you know is finished. You know, like that's kind of the same thing too. I'm like, well, at least I can know that like there'll still be those last 6 episodes of Modern Family that I've never watched, and you know, I can always go back and watch them again. And like, and that's the thing too, I can always go back and watch everything again from the beginning, but I always just tend to like start it over then, because I don't remember where I was with those last 6 episodes, and instead of just finishing it, I just started over from the beginning in a year or 2. And so that's why, like, I was like, I have to finish watching the last 6 episodes before I will start a new thing. And sometimes I will have like a few like TV series that I'm watching at the same time, but it'll be like a reality TV show maybe, and then like something else. Like, I was also watching Dance Moms, and I haven't gotten back to watching that lately, but like sometimes too, if I'm like, I really need something where like I can focus in more, or something that I'm like, I can kind of just pay attention whenever. Like, that's kind of more Mad Men right now. I have to pay attention to what's going on, and like Dance Moms is like, yeah, you know, kind of just, you know, not that I don't really have things on in the background, like I don't watch TV like that, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't have to be super dialed in and like super paying attention to it. And there's other TV series where I do, and like I said, that was kind of the same thing too with like Downton Abbey. I loved it, but it was just something that I really had to pay attention to, also because the accents and stuff like that too. It's like, I really need to pay attention to this, like otherwise I'm not going to understand what's going on. And also too, like, I pick up on some of the things too, like especially in Mad Men, I'm like, oh, I know exactly when that event was taking place in history, because they'll make reference to it and stuff like that too. So like, I definitely pay attention to those little details that are in that kind of stuff too, and pick those out. So anyways though, that's what I've been actually doing lately, or the TV series that I have been into lately. And I got into the 2nd series already, but you know, and it actually hasn't been that long, but there's also not that many episodes in each season as well. I think there's only like 13. So I've gotten through, like, again, like a season, I think, and maybe a few episodes into the second season as well. But lately that is what I've been up to, and I guess it's good that, like I said, I finished a whole series already, and have then thankfully moved on to the next one. Because like, I watched Vampire Diaries when it was coming out back when I was in high school. I've never finished it. I've rewatched it I think twice, and I like always get to the last season or whatever and then never finish it. So anyways though, I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up.